Ladies and gentlemen. Direct from the valley.
You are now rocking with the best. Hoops and Hip Hop with Coach Carter on the White Label Radio Network.
1 2 1 2. Check. What's up, y'all? This is Coach Carter, the Hoops and Hip Hop Podcast. This is episode 5. And like I said, we're doing hoops and hip hop, mostly hoops. We had Clint Parks on here not too long ago, Jack Paulin. And I wanted to tap into a dope high school coach, Nareg Kopooshian, a.k.a. Chris, man. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So let's get a little rundown on who Coach Nareg is. Kopooshian. So you like to be called Coach Nareg Kopooshian or Chris? What do people call you?
They call me Coach. Everybody calls me Coach. And then you have some guys that call me CNK because of my Instagram handle.
CNK, okay.
Yeah, but I like to go by Coach. Keep it simple.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I like simple.
So, Coach, he is the coach of AGBU, Armenian School out of Canoga Park. Mm-hmm. You probably saw them on Fox News, Fox Morning Show, documentary on YouTube as well too. It's funny because we have a little history that he doesn't even know about. So he also has a club team called the Rebels. So my son is now 21 years old. He played for ARC back in the days, I want to say 14, 15. Uh-huh. And we played you guys in Palm Springs.
My favorite tournament.
At Rancho Mirage High School, I believe.
Right.
In that little back gym. Uh-huh. And our team got into altercation.
Oh, my God. That was your son's
My
team?
son was on that team.
Wow. That was like the first 30 seconds of the game.
Yeah, it was. So it was wild. So let's. So I wasn't even a coach at the time. I was just a dad in the stands, and I don't know. I don't think one of your coaches. I think it was one of the dads or somebody in your.
It was one of our fans.
One of your fans got into it with our coach and ran out on the court, and then coaches and players. It was pandemonium. Nobody actually got into a fight.
No.
But it was crazy because we had knew you guys for a while. You guys we had crossed paths, whatever, and you guys have some wonderful fans, overzealous fans.
Yeah, rowdy fans. Yeah,
you have fans. You have like more like soccer type fans.
Yeah, very passionate.
I didn't know.
Very passionate.
I didn't know that soccer had these fans called hooligans that go around and beat up people on other teams. So you have passionate fans, not to that level to where they're just punching on people, but it got to. So that was my introduction to your program. And one thing that I would say with your program and what I've saw since then is how passionate and how hard your players play. No matter what, when you have a Rebels team or even the AGBU team watching them play, they're always going to put up a fight. They're going to be undersized. You know, they're going to have some skills, but they're always going to put up the fight. Where does that come from?
That's my personality.
Okay.
And what I try to do with all of my teams, no matter who we're playing against, is I try to give them that confidence. I give them my confidence where I was always undersized as a player.
Yeah.
And I put in the work, and the body of work gave me my confidence, and I thought I could compete against anybody. So I kind of passed that along to my teams, and I let them know that I don't care who we're playing against, we're coming to compete. Like, we're not laying down to anybody.
Yeah. We're
going to be prepared, we're going to be disciplined, but we're going to compete at all times.
Yeah.
So that's just something from playing days that now I bring into coaching. So it's we can win. You just got to believe in the system. You got to believe in the work. And ultimately, when you get to the game, you're putting all the stuff that we worked on in practice into play. So, and I've had guys that believed. So that's
awesome. I watched you, like I said, I've watched you from afar since that day till now, and I've seen every time I see a Rebels team or AGBU team, they always have that in it. And that's what you want as a coach. You want the guys to embody who you are and what you are. Like my team, I'm a defensive guy, so I hope that my team play defense intensely or whatever. So let's take it back to the beginning. Where are you from?
Tarzana, California.
So you're a Valley dude.
I'm a Valley dude. I've been a Valley dude since I was born.
Okay. Yeah.
So been around, everything in this area. Went to an Armenian high school. Again, same concept. We were always undersized, but we'd always compete against bigger schools.
What school was that?
Holy Martyrs. So,
right there on White Oak.
So some people look at it as a rival. I just look at it as another Armenian school.
Okay.
So
wait, you went to the rival school to coach?
Technically.
Oh man.
I look at it as everyone's an Armenian kid, within these schools.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to do what I can for my community.
Yeah.
And I went to the quote unquote rival school because all my Rebels players, since they were 8 years old, were there. So it was just a perfect fit for me.
Yeah, makes sense.
And looking back on it now, it's such a rewarding experience going there and coaching them through their high school careers. So, yeah, you can say I went to the quote unquote rival school.
And so you're from the Valley. So, what year did you graduate high school?
2011.
Okay, so you're young, dude.
I just turned 30, so everything started hurting on the day that I turned 30. Everything. Yeah.
Man, I got you by almost 20 years, and yes, it does. It's one of those things that you thought as a kid that people were lying about, but as soon as you cross that 30 and then the 40 and everything just...
Oh, yeah. I woke up one morning and I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on here?
And for no reason. It happens. It came out of nowhere. You didn't do anything. You just you was in bed.
Yeah.
So when you was in the Valley, you played varsity basketball your 4 years?
3 years.
3 years.
So my first year I was very undersized.
Okay.
So I played JV.
Okay.
And I looked at it as a year of development because I knew the following year I'm going to play varsity. And then my next 3 years, I played varsity, started all 3 years. I had a pretty good career, and the rest is history.
Did you go to college and play ball in college?
Yeah. So my senior year, actually, I had no idea about anything college-wise, and I played on a travel ball team coached by actually the San Fernando Valley assigner, Levon.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So he was coaching a travel team, and he said, "What are you going to do next year?" I said, "I don't know. I'm going to go to college." He said, "Have you ever thought about playing in college?" I said, "No." So he kind of put it in my head, made me a highlight tape, and then I went to Glendale College the next year, played 2 years for Coach Boschman.
You went to what college?
Glendale College.
Glendale College. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he kind of paved the way for me.
Yeah.
He gave me the confidence, and he taught me the route because we didn't know anything about that at the time. It wasn't as big as it is now.
Yeah.
Right now, everybody knows about the college route. So, he kind of paved the way for me, and I stuck with it. So.
And you went to Glendale for 2 years?
Yeah.
And then
after that, so I had an offer to play in Lebanon. My parents are from Lebanon.
Okay.
So I was able to get a citizenship there. Ultimately decided not to go. And
why not?
I don't know. I was kind of nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I was young. And so I decided to go to CSUN, but did not want to play there. A team reached out to go and play preseason in Taiwan. And I said, okay, yeah, I'll do this. I mean, it wasn't a long-term deal. It was come out for preseason and we'll see what happens. So
it was a pro team?
It was a pro team, yeah.
Okay.
So they brought me out just to kind of showcase me, see what I can do. But the thing that I didn't know at the time was they can only keep so many foreigners. And I'm considered a foreigner, right?
Yes.
So this is the point in my career where I really, really started learning about player roles within a team.
Okay.
So my first game, I had 17 points, but my job was not to score, and I didn't really grasp that.
You didn't understand that?
Yeah. So our coach kind of let me know. He said, "Listen, you're here not to score. You're here to run our offense and get our other scorers who can score better than you can involved, right? So I want you to make plays." So I was like, okay. So I didn't play well last game. He said, "Well, you did. That's not what we need." So anyways,
when that happens and he tells you that,
by the way, we lost that game.
He lost that game. Okay.
We lost that game.
So when that coach tells you that, what is your mindset? Are you like, F that, I'm here to score? How what's your mindset?
I got to do what I got to do.
Okay.
That was my mindset.
Okay.
Whatever role was needed from me, I have to fulfill because I'm on a team and I understand the game. Yeah. And I know I have a 6'5" dude that they brought in here to score. Mm-hmm. So if I'm scoring, what's the point of him being here?
Yeah.
Right. And he could score better than I can because he's got size. He can score on different levels. So I said, let me use my ability to play make to fit into this roster.
Yeah.
So the next game I go, I had 4 points and 11 assists. We lost that game too. But it was like, okay, this is what we need from you. So it was then when I really started grasping player roles within a team in order to make the team fully gel together. So that was a huge point in my career where now I take that into coaching. Yeah. I don't need you to do something special. I need you just to stick to your role and be a star in your role.
It's hard to get kids nowadays to do that right there. And that's one of the things they don't understand that. And I use this phrase all the time and said, do what I ask you to do and I'll ask you to do more.
Right.
And they look at me, what you mean? Like, my trainer told me to get in my bag, but no, I don't need you. I need you to pass that ball to that guy because he's hot and he's scoring.
Right.
And then from there, they're going to double team him. And then the ball may come back to you and then you hit 1 or 2 shots.
Yep. Let the game come to you.
They don't understand that and then also we have these parents that are overzealous and they want to make sure that their guys are star because they're seeing the social media posts or whatever. So I admire you for being able to step back and do that. So after you was there for, how long were you there?
I was there for about a month and a half. And then it was time for me to go home. And I was completely fine with going home because it was like, it's a tough life. It's a really tough life. You know how many Netflix shows I got through? I was so bored.
And where were you at again? You was in?
I was in Taiwan. I was in Hualien, which is 4 hours away from Taipei, the main city.
So you was in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere, but it was a very nice city, actually.
Did you speak the language?
Not at all. Actually, every morning I would wake up, I'd go on Google Translate, I would pick up the phrases that I needed for the day, like where is a restaurant that I need to go to, or which way is the beach, because I was right by the beach, and I would show them on my phone, and they would just point the direction. So, again, really good experience, but it was time for me to go home. Went home, and a team from the CBA, Central Basketball Association, reached out. They're located in the Midwest.
Okay.
And they wanted me to go and play there. And I was trying to find a route to get to, like, I was trying to go back. I lost that offer, obviously, because when I said no.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me go. Let me play in this league. Let me get a good film. And let me get my stats and try to go back to Lebanon. So went there, and I had a really, really good season. And then last game of the season, I end up partially tearing my groin.
Wow, that sounds like it was painful.
Awful experience.
Wow, I've pulled my groin in high school. It was you tore it. How did you do it, and how did that feel?
I'll tell you exactly how it felt, actually. So I hit a 3, and I kind of got like, okay, all right, we're going to have a good game today. I picked up the opposing point guard full court. I slid, and imagine holding a rubber band. Mm-hmm. So you're widening the rubber band, and I come and I flick the rubber band. So it wasn't pain initially. It was just like a flick, and I'm like, oh, and my leg gave out, landed, and after that, the pain set in. And it was so bad, I can't even explain.
Wait, so now, did you get crossed over it like that?
No, just...
So he didn't...
No, it was a change of direction, and I got there. But on that slide, I guess
your foot slipped or something like that.
No slip, nothing. It was just happened.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was the end of that. They went to playoffs the next week. I did not travel with the team, and I actually ended up going home. They were going to Indiana the next week. I didn't end up going. I went straight home, and I started trying to rehab it. But little did I know I needed 2 surgeries to get through that injury.
So you had 2 groin surgeries?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. First one failed. So I had to go in for a second one. After my
what?
Yeah.
Wait, so the first one failed. So what do you tell the doctor?
I went back to him and I said, I can't run. And he said,
you didn't go to the same doctor, did you?
I went to the same doctor.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I said, I can't run. And he said, can you come tomorrow morning? I'm not even joking. Can you come tomorrow morning? I think I know what it is. And at this point, I'm desperate. I'm desperate.
Oh my God.
So we went the next morning. I get out of the surgery and he said, I got it. So I had scar tissue stuck between my leg and my pelvis. So when I was trying to extend to run, it was just holding me. Very weird.
Because the joints wasn't able to move because you had something.
I had scar tissue there. So he went in there and he said, I had to go deeper, and I found it, and it cut it out. So 8 weeks later, I was back on the court, but I was like a shell of myself at that time because I still had some pain, obviously 2 surgeries later. And then it took some time, and I got back to normal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
And I started coaching at that time. I mean,
so you never went back? You never got a chance to go back to Lebanon?
No, and I didn't want to. It was like, man, my body's taking a beating. And I was coaching while playing.
Yeah.
While during the off seasons. But now I got deeper into coaching, and it's like, okay, I like this. I'm enjoying this.
What was the pay like when you was in Taiwan and then also the CBA? What was the pay like?
Garbage, absolute garbage. But it was like a way to advance.
But you was a kid too, so you probably you probably didn't need much to live off of.
No, and especially over there, you're getting everything that you need: food. You're getting your apartment. But it's not anything.
Oh, they pay for all that?
Yeah, they give you that.
Okay.
But you're not getting anything. I wouldn't be able to live right now with that at all.
Yeah.
So the people that do it right now, unless you're in a high level country, it's a tough life, man. Like I would not recommend it to, let's say, a 28, 29-year-old. It's like, all right, it's time.
You have to be 19.
You got to be 19. You got to experiment.
Yeah. And you have mom and dad still kind of
right.
to fall back on.
But looking back, I'm very happy I did it because now I could talk about it. I can use the experiences with my players. Like, hey, at this level, they expected this and this from me. And I don't treat my players right now like high school kids. I treat them like college kids.
Yeah.
Meaning I hold them to that level of accountability.
Yeah.
So when they're practicing, it's like everything needs to be done according to practice plan.
Yeah.
So and
That's
they
smart.
know. Yeah.
That's smart because then when they get there, if some of them do get there,
They're ready.
They're not shocked.
Right. They're ready.
Like I approach that with my younger kids about high school. I run my 11U practice like a high school practice. Yep. So when they walk in the door, they're not
exactly
shocked or whatever.
Exactly.
So that's smart. That's very smart. So you started coaching. What year was this?
So this injury happened in 2017.
Okay.
And I went all in on coaching in 2017. Before that, I had Rebels in 2016, but I was like in and out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then 2017, I went all in. And I went to AGBU in 2018. So 2017, I really built Rebels. I had my high school teams. I had my middle school, elementary school teams. And I started enjoying coaching the older guys more because now I can really put my imprint on the game.
Yeah.
Running stuff, changing defenses, adjusting, game planning. And I said, I think it's time to make the move to high school. So that's when AGBU became an option. And
was there a coach there? Did they come to you? Did you go to them? Was there a coach there already?
They came to me because I had all of my guys in 8th grade at the time. Mm-hmm. So all of them that I've coached in Rebels were all 8th graders. And I really meshed well with that group. I kind of built that group from ground up. We were losing games in Bronze Division every single weekend. I mean, getting blown out.
I've been there. I'm there now. Right now. Yeah. I
so the advice I'd give you is stick with it.
It's development. It's development. Nobody's going to remember the bronze loss.
Exactly. No one cares about AAU trophies.
Nobody cares about that. No.
So they were getting blown out in every single bronze tournament. And so HBU reached out. They're going into 9th grade. And I said, okay. But I don't know how good we're going to be, right? So because we're not hanging here.
But did they have a coach there already?
They did, but that coach was ready to
oh, okay. He was done.
to do other things. Okay. Yeah. So it was like perfect timing. Come on in and take over. So
that's dope. That's dope. So it was perfect.
Yeah. Stars aligned.
And that was in 2017?
That was in 2018.
2018. Yeah. Okay. So you've been coaching basketball for the last 4 or 5 years?
high school basketball for this is my 6th year.
6th year, okay.
But coaching basketball since I was 18. So I was coaching, but I wasn't all in because I was playing.
You. Okay.
So when it came to a point where now I'm all in, obviously.
Okay.
So, yeah, it started there when they were in 8th grade. So I got to that school, and the first thing I was told was, hey, the team that you're going to take over was 1-20 the year before in Division 5.
That's perfect for you because now the bar is really low. You can just you can only get better from there.
Right. So, and I have a very, you can call it delusional or you call it confident. Yeah. So I went in and I said, no problem. We'll win CIF this year. That was my mindset.
Yeah.
Like everywhere I go, I think I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
But I'm always prepared to also lose. But I just think I'm going to win everything. So the next year we won 5 games. And then all of my guys came into high school. And my first year with them in high school, we won 17 games, missed the playoffs by a game. And then after that, our run started.
Sorry about that.
No, good.
My bad. I had to adjust the cameras in the facility, but so I watched the documentary.
Right.
I've, like I said, followed you guys kind of indirectly based on the Rebels. You guys, and we talked about this at the very beginning. You guys have the community behind you.
Yep.
Do you find that do you have a chip on your shoulder based on being Armenian and playing basketball?
Nobody takes us seriously. Or let me rephrase that. When we walk into a gym and you're watching both sides warm up, everybody in the gym thinks that we're going to get blown out.
You don't pass the eye test.
We never pass the eye test. There has not been a single day where we've passed the eye test. And when another team, now it's different. But let's go back like 3 years.
Because your name is known.
Right.
But you still look at your players and say, oh, these guys.
Right. So people walk in and go, wait, this is the team that you guys are talking about?
Yeah.
They look like they've never played basketball in their lives.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, they look like that, but clearly they can do some stuff. But before it was, yeah, we got this. And then the game starts and it's like, okay. They can play. We got to kind of turn this thing up. But by the time they turn it up, it's a little too late. So that's kind of what it's one game. It's not a 7-game series.
Yeah. So you do have a little chip on your shoulder walking there because you want to. And do you find that is some discrimination based on who you guys are?
Based on our games that we play.
Yeah.
I don't really sense that. I just feel like we're disrespected in terms of a basketball standpoint.
Yeah. So
it's never, I don't think they look at us and say, oh, they're Armenian, they don't know how to play. It's just they look at us and they go like,
the guy's 6 feet tall. He's
playing a 5 when he's like 6'1".
Yeah.
Our guards are 6'1". I mean,
yeah.
Last year I had some size, but still, when you're looking at a Division 2 team and you're looking at our team, it's like, okay, yeah, their biggest guy is like 6'4", 6'5". Our biggest guy is 6'9". And then their guards are 6. They don't look like a Division 2 basketball team.
Yeah. So we talked about the divisions earlier. So you guys started out. So when you first got there, you was Division 5.
5A, yeah.
5A. And that first year, how did you do?
5 wins. My first year.
And then they moved you up?
They did not.
Oh, so you didn't move up the first year?
No.
It was the second year you was there moving up.
So second year, we won 17 games, but we missed the playoffs.
Okay.
So again, no movement. Mm-hmm. Now my third year, we get to the semifinals in 5A. We get to state in 5A. We lost the semifinals by 1. If we had won that semifinal game, we would have won the finals by 20. The championship team, they beat the team that we lost to in the semifinal, beat the team in the finals by 20. So the year after that, they move us to Division 3. And I'm looking at it and saying,
wait, so you go from 5 to 3?
5 to 3.
No 4?
No 4. So one semifinal run in the last, I don't know how many years. We finally make the semifinals. We lose by 1. We lose by 20 in state. We went to Fresno for a state playoff game. against Roosevelt High School. Tough game. Lose that game by like 15-20. And the next year, we are in Division 3. And I'm like, wait, you don't want to give us one more opportunity?
Like, give you a chance in Division 5 again and see what you guys do.
Or, worst case, take us to 4A, not 4AA, 4A, and let us maybe prove ourselves there.
Do you, and I'm a high school coach, but I'm on a freshman level, so I don't get all the playoff stuff. Do they explain to you why they do it? They just kind of you kind of just look at the system and say, "Oh, we're there now."
It's a point system, but they don't look at kind of who you played. They don't look at who you've lost in terms of players.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you won 17 games, and the year after that, you made the semifinals. You're pretty good. So you're racking up the points now, right? You're racking up the points. We're gonna bump you. So we went to Division 3 that following year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, so you Division 3, and you guys did pretty well in Division 3.
We didn't lose a single game that year, which is the worst thing now looking at it.
21-0.
21-0.
Yeah. That was a gift and a curse.
The most stressful year of my life. So now you're going into games, finding a way to keep the undefeated record, because it's like, oh my God, we can finish a season undefeated.
You're chasing a ghost.
I'm chasing, exactly. So we don't know how to lose. And think about this. During the preseason, we didn't lose a single game either. So we're playing Jack Paulin's Saturday league.
Yes.
Okay, so we haven't lost a game in that. We go to AAU tournaments, have not lost a game in that. So overall, let's say it's 21-0 in season. Preseason, we won like 20 games as well. So you're untouchable. You feel untouchable.
Yeah.
We get to the playoffs and we get our matchup. Milliken from Long Beach.
Long Beach, yes.
Okay, so now I'm looking at this team. We're number 7 in Division 3 AA. And I'm looking at Milliken from Long Beach.
Uh-huh.
I'm looking at their schedule, and they're unranked. But why are they unranked? Because they were 4th in league. Who's in their league? Long Beach Poly.
Yes.
Compton High School.
Yeah.
Like, so you got some legit teams. So I get on the film. I'm a huge film guy. I get on the film, and I'm like this. Wow. This is our first round opponent after being 1st in league, 7th ranked. We get this team. They walk in with a 6'11" guy.
Of course.
They walk in with 2 phenomenal guards, and 3 solid role players. They got a guy coming off the bench that can shoot. And it's like, okay, we got an uphill battle. And my team is young. I had 2 or 3 seniors, and the rest, my core guys, were juniors. So, and we're not battle tested because we've won every game. And it's we didn't blow out every team that year. There were close games that we kind of fought through, but we haven't lost. We don't know how to lose. So we're up 7 heading into the 4th quarter, and we kind of had a flat tire for about 2 minutes. Burned all my timeouts trying to halt the run.
Oh, wow.
We end up getting upset. Long Beach, Milliken of Long Beach, by the way, goes to the semifinal, and then goes to the semifinal of state. So clearly there was a mishap in the ranking system there. But our guys, after that game, we said this in a documentary too.
Yeah.
Literally 2 days later. 2 days later, we're in the gym, and we're grinding like we got a game the next week. Grinding.
I love it. I love it because you guys are passionate about it.
Right. Yeah, and all my guys, their goal was to win CIF before they graduated.
Uh-huh.
So we're like, okay, we're gonna be in Division 3 again next year. We'll get this. If we were about to beat Long Beach Milliken in this division and they got that far, next year we got Division 3.
Yeah. You're confident.
Yeah, very confident. Until
Dun, 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 dun.
we get the CIF pairings for the next year.
Yeah.
And now we're in Division 2A. And I'm just like, how?
So let's put this perspective. Division 2A is also where my school, Crespi, is in as well too. Heritage Christian's in there. Loyola's in there.
Last year Crespi was Division 2AA.
2AA.
Well, our division was, you have Pasadena High School.
Okay, yes.
You got Diamond Bar High School. You have Redondo Union.
And you have all these schools that have 2,000 students.
Right.
So back when I was playing back in the day, whatever, your league was based on the amount of kids in the school.
Right.
So you didn't have a private school or a smaller school that had 300 students play a school like a Crenshaw that had 3,000 students because your talent pool wasn't available. Now it's a little different because these private schools are now recruiting and people coming there or whatever. So,
but we don't have that luxury because how many people can we recruit? We're an Armenian-only school.
Yes.
So let's say you have, the smaller schools that do recruit. Okay, you can bring in anybody.
Yeah.
We can't bring in anybody. We have 206 students. And almost all those students are lifers.
They've been there since they were kids.
Yeah, so
it's when I watched your documentary and I seen some of the twins.
Right.
I'm like, wait, they were there in like elementary school, so they've been there forever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been there forever. All of them have been there forever. So it's like we got to win with what we have.
And then in the Valley, like so Holy Martyr is another school, so you guys are splitting the talent pool in the area.
Exactly.
As well.
Yep. And their location is much better than ours. They're right off the freeway.
Yeah.
When you get off the freeway, you got to drive about 10, 15 minutes to get to our school.
Yeah.
So location-wise, they're perfect. They always have good teams. But that class that we had, that we brought up, that was a special class. And when you look at the teams we played and you look at our talent, we're not more talented. It's just these guys have been playing together for so long. And they know the system that we're running, and
execution.
We were film junkies. I mean, we were in the film room all day picking apart. Oh, look, this he's good. He's averaging 25, but he doesn't want to go left. Every action that's being run for him, he's going downhill with his right hand. So let's make him go left.
Yeah,
let's see what he can do.
See what happens.
Left. Right. So we were film junkies. I think if we didn't have film, we're not going anywhere. We're going nowhere.
That's awesome. I watched it. If you guys get a chance, make sure you go on YouTube and actually watch the documentary. And we don't know each other like that. We know each other passing as coach and associates based on that. And I messaged him and said, dude, I watched the documentary and it made me cry. Because I watched the passion that your boys play with, and I've seen the passion that your boys play with, and I understand that.
Right.
Because I play with passion as well, too. I coach with passion, so I understand that. So like I said, I watched it, and I was in tears because I hurt for them because I know how hard it is and how hard they fought to be there. So if you guys get a chance, make sure you watch that documentary because it's actually good. And I remember during the pandemic when you was training outside.
Oh yeah,
because I was doing the same thing.
Yeah,
and also during that time, some of your guys actually played for me. Aaron.
Oh yeah.
Aaron played for me at West Coast Elite.
Right.
And his older brother played for me as well too.
Gary's a stud.
So Gary is the epitome of who I was as a basketball player. Undersized but just scrappy. Want to fight everybody.
Ran through the wall.
Exactly. So I was always watching Aaron go to your or whoever's backyard that was training or whatever, and then I would put my mask on and go to somebody's backyard and train. And I watched that
grind.
Watch that grind, and to see you guys get to that level is dope. I was hoping to see you guys win it because I know how hard you guys work for it, but it was dope to see that.
Yeah, the run was. I mean, when I look back right now, I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
like there's no regrets. We put everything into it. There was nothing more we could have done. We left everything on the floor. So it was like, sometimes that experience is worth more than the ring.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's kind of how I look at it.
And we'll talk about you as a player. You are a bucket. You get buckets.
Before this knee injury, I was solid.
He was solid. He's being bashful, man. He played in the loot. And if you look on his Instagram page, he was averaging 31 plus points a game. That's an average. That means that he had some 40-point games. He was MVP. He come down and step back and shoot in your face, and that has to go along. How valuable is that for you when you're coaching these boys? That you can actually hoop and you actually got that.
Well, the value in that was my entire game was based on work. Yeah. So it was like I was in the gym 24/7. My friends were at a party. I'm in the gym. Mm-hmm. And people say that, but I was really in the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to be the absolute best version of myself. And I always was confident, but the confidence strictly came from my body of work. So if I didn't get the appropriate hours that I set for myself for the week, going into a game, I don't feel prepared.
Yeah.
It's all, what did you do this week? Did you complete the game plan that you set out for yourself for that week? And when I go to a game, my confidence is all off exactly that body of work.
And did your voice, and did that work, and that you getting those buckets in the adult league, did that help you sell your ideas to your players as well too? Because they seen it. Because players always, even me, I'm, coach, are you a bucket? Can you get, like, I can beat you shooting or whatever. Kids always say that. Did you have kids test you and
they never tested me, but I would hop in their runs sometimes,
and they'd be surprised.
I would just pick them apart, not just by scoring. It was just I'm picking apart everything you're doing, and at the same time, as a coach, it's helping me a lot because I see the holes in their games. So I would stop playing at one point and say, "Why are you guarding me like this?"
Yeah. Or
why is your help side so late? At that point, I'm already at the basket.
Yeah.
So while I'm playing, I'm coaching. And then they see, how are you doing that? Or how did you see that? So now I'm talking as a player, but while I'm explaining things as a player, I'm looking at it as a coach. So it went hand in hand. And then when I was training them, I would show them moves based on me playing, and then they would pick it up and they would test it out in scrimmages. And they'd say, okay, I see what you're talking about.
Awesome.
Now I see it kind of translate.
That's awesome.
So definitely playing helps a lot, but I wouldn't say they ever tested me because
they knew better.
They
knew better.
They're not going to.
They seen the post of you getting MVP at Lou against current college players and stuff. So yeah, it's dope. So yeah, coach is a walking bucket as well too. You guys have a saying that's on your gym wall or whatever. Pressure is a privilege. Yeah. What does that mean?
So we live that every single day. That pressure is not put on us by anybody but ourselves. So we hold ourselves to such a high standard. So every game we go out to play, we expect, and obviously we want to win, but we expect to win because, again, our body of work. So now we have this self-inflicted pressure. And you go to every game and it's like, we got to win this game. We've prepared way too hard to lose this game. And that in itself, that feeling in itself is a privilege. I had seniors last year, 8 seniors. All of them, it was their last run.
Yeah.
And they had to win because this is it. And so they had that pressure of, this is our last opportunity. And I always preach that in itself is a privilege. Now, everybody knows who you are, right? And everybody expects you to win. You have pressure. Every gym you go to, you got to win because you are on LA Times, right? So they're looking at you and saying, "No, we just beat the team on LA Times. We just beat the team on Fox Sports." So it's like there's another form of pressure.
Yep.
So we embraced it. We took that pressure and we ran with it.
The target was on your back.
Yep. Yeah.
Where did there's one kid in your documentary, last name was Dorian.
Yeah.
4.7 GPA.
Yeah.
I was like, wait. That's a
4 out of 5 starters, 4.7.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did any of your players end up playing college basketball?
So I have one right now at Glendale College.
Okay.
So he's with, so when I was there, our assistant coach is now the head coach. So he was my assistant coach at the time.
Nice.
And then the lead assistant coach right now over there is my ex-teammate.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I took him there and they liked him a lot. And and he's in great hands. I know the guys and they're phenomenal basketball minds, great people. So he's in great hands. He's there. Dorian Alvond, he's at USC, working on a walk-on spot, actually, as we speak.
Dope.
So he's working on that. He actually he went to a practice not too long ago with the team. So he's working on that. And then one of my other players is going to the open tryout at UCSB.
Okay.
So let's see what happens with that. And then my lefty shooter, Matthew, he had an opportunity to play at Occidental this year.
Yeah.
And he got into USC as well. So he decided to take the academic route. So he's at USC right now.
It makes sense.
Yeah, but all these guys are still playing. I mean, they won't stop.
That's awesome.
So,
and your current team is all young. Were those guys on your Rebels? Did you have like a young Rebels team as well too?
So,
that was kind of grooming those two.
So these guys were all JV last year. Two out of the 2 out of the entire group they started with me when they were 7 or 8 years old.
Okay.
So they know the system really well. I had one that I brought into my team last year who was a freshman, very small kid last year, and he kind of learned the system. He learned the structure. So now he's returning, and everyone else is brand new.
Wow.
But this is one of the hardest working groups that I've ever had. I mean, they text me, can we come at 6:30 in the morning and get working?
I love it.
And then they know they have practice at 6:30 p.m. So they're going through 2-a-days, and I'm not forcing them to go through 2-a-days.
That's beautiful.
So I actually love my current team. I go to work every day, and I don't think, hey, I lost 8 seniors. What am I going to do? I actually enjoying this process a lot. This group is going to end up being pretty good, and they're all very young. So I
in the next 2 or 3 years,
I get to have them again.
Yeah. And do you teach at the school? What do you do? So
I'm also the assistant athletic director at the school.
Okay.
So I'm just involved fully in athletics. Last 2 years, I was dean of students. So that was a good experience as well. You're going to more the academic side of things. But ultimately, my calling is athletics.
Okay.
So just building programs and helping with any way that I can with other programs to raise everybody's level in the school. And at the same time, obviously put all my focus on building our basketball program.
And are you looking to coach in college, or are you okay with staying there? Are you looking to get a better high school position, or what's your ultimate goal?
So if I was to move up, I would not go to another high school. I would want to go and coach in college. So my ultimate goal later on in life is to become a head coach in college.
Okay.
And I'm really, really particular about where I coach. I feel like my system is really well suited for the Division II, Division III levels, where you can run stuff. And not to say that they don't run stuff in Division I, but there are a lot of guys that are going to go to the league and that are more, individual-based players.
Yes.
And a lot of one and dones. I don't like that. I like the system where you get your players and you develop them.
They're 4-year players, 3-year players.
Yeah, I love that stuff, that aspect to it. I like the family vibe as well, where it's like we're here to win a game for the program and not for somebody to get out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like go to the league or go overseas. Those guys are going to stay for 4 years, and after the 4th year, if you want to go overseas, we'll help you get there.
Yeah,
but it's about the program first. So,
have you tried or applied for any of those jobs?
No, not really.
Okay,
I've just been grinding here. I feel like the more we win, the more I focus on these kids, the opportunities will present themselves later on. So I'm not actively searching because I just love what I do.
And would you be willing to go to the middle of nowhere,
Anywhere.
USA, to be assistant coach?
I'd take basketball where I'll go with basketball wherever it takes me. If it's the right opportunity.
And you still live in the Valley?
Live in the Valley. Always. Yeah.
So as a Valley player, going back to when you was a hooper in the Valley, I'm an LA dude. I live in the Valley now, but I remember how much we talked bad about the Valley and how anytime we played a Valley team, we was going at them. Right. Did you have that same experience as far as?
Not really, but we were known as, we were softer.
Softer, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, we didn't have, we weren't like really, that wasn't put on us.
Yeah.
But we knew that people thought that, guys in the Valley are softer.
Yeah.
They're giving everything. They don't work hard enough, but it's good to know.
Yeah.
Because now I'm going to work harder.
Yeah. So it's a little different now because Valley has some of the best basketball programs in California, whatever, with some of the private schools or whatever. So a lot of talent in the Valley,
a lot. A lot of good schools.
That's dope. So before we started the podcast, he was saying I'm a basketball guy, but the hip hop side of things I don't know too much about. So I'm gonna ask him one basketball question. Because I know you're a Steph Curry fan. I can tell by you love Steph Curry. I can tell if you go to Instagram, Steph Curry. So now let's get into this point guard debate that's been going on recently.
Okay.
Do you think Steph Curry is the greatest point guard of all times?
The reason that I would say he is the greatest is because right now, if you walk into 24-hour fitness, what is every guard doing? They're jacking up 30-foot threes.
But does that make him the best?
He changed
point guard.
He changed the entire culture of the game.
Yeah.
One. 2, stuck with the same franchise through the ups and downs, and he has 4 rings.
Okay.
He's won 2 MVPs, 2 unanimous. I think how many MVPs?
2. I believe 2. I don't know the stats like that, but yeah.
2 MVPs.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And he has the ability to make his teammates better. And let me tell you why. When Kevin Durant came to the team, he doesn't mesh with every player, clearly, in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Steph Curry kind of adjusted his role to fit in with Kevin Durant. People think, oh, he had the greatest team of all time. It's so easy to win with the greatest team. Right, but it's also very difficult to win with the greatest team because how are you going to put egos aside? Right? So
True.
He was able to find a way to fine-tune his game and change it and adjust it so that Kevin Durant can fit in. So he can shoot. He can pass. He can handle.
What about Magic Johnson? So
this is not the wall.
No, the wall is in there with the Magic Johnson poster because the Magic came out and said Steph is great. He's one of the greatest shooters. He's the greatest shooter of all time, but he's not the greatest point guard of all time because of. And Magic lists his stats as well too. And Magic
different era,
but we're talking about the greatest of all time.
Right.
So all time means all time.
Right.
I don't look at Steph Curry as a point guard.
He's a point guard in today's game. So he technically, today's game, every point guard can score.
But of all time, because Magic can score and he he assisted as well too.
To answer this question,
yes,
we can go in circles with this.
Okay, you're never going to vote against Kevin Durant, but Steph Curry.
I'm never going to vote against Steph Curry, but I will come to the middle ground of saying that there's the greatest of each era because you cannot compare eras. The only person that you can say is the greatest of all time player-wise, regardless of era, is Jordan.
Okay.
So that is the only person that there's no argument toward. But I'm going to say something that a lot of fans will hate me for.
What's that?
I've watched Magic Johnson film.
Okay.
I don't like the way he was going left. His left hand was a little suspect to me.
Okay.
And his jumper.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like, it's so difficult because of the way I play for me to be a huge fan.
You're a shooter, so you're watching those mechanics and whatever, and it was an ugly release or ugly.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
So I'm biased, obviously, towards Steph Curry because I grew up a Steph Curry fan since he was in Davidson.
Okay.
And he just did so much for me I've never met him in my life, but just watching his games.
And your game is you look like Steph Curry when you do the step back or the side step.
I literally just copied his game.
Yeah, you literally. So if you guys ever watch a highlight, he is the Armenian Steph Curry.
I'm not that good, but
he's in the Doe League, like I said, he's averaging. You were averaging 31 plus points a game in the Doe League, and you were step back on people. So it was Curry-esque.
Yeah, I would watch. You know what I would watch? I would watch the games where he wasn't shooting well, and I would try to figure out he's still impacting the game. How is he impacting the game? What can I do when, let's say, shots aren't falling to still be effective?
Yeah,
because you don't want to be one-dimensional. So it's like, okay, now he's finding ways to get guys open, setting good screens, getting rebounds, deceptively good rebounder. So it's like, okay, I got to do these things as well.
Yeah.
So I would watch his lows more than his highs to help me get better.
Yeah. He's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I mean, of course, that debate, point
that's going to go on forever.
I'm a Magic Johnson fan. I'm an LA guy,
right,
whatever. But I understand why people say that, and like I said, he's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So let's get into the hip hop side of things, and who's your favorite hip hop artist?
My favorite hip hop artist, I like retro Lil Wayne.
Okay, so
I love retro Lil Wayne.
So you like mixtape Lil Wayne, like the not Lil Wayne when he was with Cash Money and the Hot Boys, more like Lil Wayne when he was doing Young Money and that Lil Wayne. Okay,
yes.
Yeah, I like that too. When he enunciated his words a little bit better, he's not he's not as slurry as he is now. Or whatever.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite Lil Wayne song? You have a song that you like?
I really I don't know who was featured in this, but My Life, was it with I don't know who he was featured. Who featured in
I don't know
song?
much Lil Wayne. I mean, I know a few titles, but I don't know much Lil
Drop
Wayne.
the World.
Okay, I like that song.
Yeah.
That song. What is your go-to song when you're preparing for the game? When you was in high school, what was your go-to song
In high school
to start to get you going at a workout or to a in a game or whatever?
Tough. What was my go-to song? My personality is, it's really hyper.
Okay.
So I would actually not listen to hip hop before a game.
What you listen to?
I would listen to a lot of like have you ever heard of the song have you heard of Edward Maya?
No.
Remember back in the day there was a song Stereo Love?
No.
Which was popular. Okay,
I'm gonna have to look this up now.
Yeah. So it was very popular at the time. So that kind of music, it's like what's the, I can't even think of the genre of that music, but it was more soothing. So it was
use the calm before the storm.
Calm before the storm.
I got you. Okay.
So it was like,
okay.
all right, I'm hyped, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to get more hyped, and I'm trying to calm down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm ready to play. So now I'm getting into this mode. Like, all right, I'm locked in.
Okay, I got you. Same thing when you was overseas as well too.
Yeah, it was the same. I had like a couple of songs that I would listen to. I'll send you some of them. It's different.
Okay.
It's more international.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's international flavor.
What are your boys playing in the gym?
Everything. Future.
Okay.
Lil Baby. Yeah.
And what do you think about that music? Are you into it? Okay.
I like Future a lot. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's definitely good motive. It's good workout music.
Yeah,
it's good workout
very
music.
good workout music. I get pumped up. Right now with my bum knee, I mean, I'm like, oh no, I'm not playing.
Yeah, exactly. And you had a bum knee. What happened to your knee?
Man, buckle up. This is a story. So I was playing a loot game, and I landed. Not weird, but I landed, and I'm like, I feel like I pinched a nerve in my hip. So whatever. Played the next game. Waited back to back. Played the next game. Next morning, I woke up, had a little bit of knee pain, but it was nothing crazy. It was like a normal nagging. You wake up in the morning and you're feeling sore.
Mm-hmm.
So I said whatever. Kept playing. Eventually, it got a little worse. I said, I'm overworking myself, but I don't really care. Still gonna keep playing. And so I went and got an MRI just to be safe, and it said you have a bone bruise. All right, cool. No problem.
No big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
Kept playing on it, and so I went to a tournament in Vegas, and I played 4 games in a weekend. And I really didn't care. There was a certain point in time where I'm like, oh, this is really bad.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play anyways. So we're getting back to LA, and I'm getting off a Southwest flight. And you're walking down the stairs, and I take my first step, and I lock. Ooh. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't walk. So I grabbed the rails and I hopped down. So I said, okay, I gotta figure this out. At this point, it's been maybe 5 months since that day. Yeah. So I go to USC, and I told the doctor, I said, the MRIs all say it's a bone bruise. I don't get it. He said, are you okay with me going in for an exploratory surgery? Because we tried everything, right? I went to rehab. I went to this. I went to that. Nothing. I said, yeah, go for it. So he goes in there, and MRIs, you're taking it when your knee is straight,
yes.
Right? So he goes in, and he bends my knee, and my cartilage. So he said, imagine an onion. You cut the onion. So when you're looking at it, when you're not bending it, right, it's okay, there's a little bit of cut.
Yeah.
So then you bend it, and it's like, oh my God, it's going deep, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he said, that's how your knee looked. So I had a 20 millimeter hole in my cartilage.
Wow.
Yeah. So he said, if you don't operate now, and we don't fix it now, in 5 years, you'll be a candidate for knee replacement. In 5 years. So he said, I got to take a 3D model of your knee. And I gotta see what else we got to do in there. I said, what else? He said, just be patient. So we go through the 3D model, and my bone was not properly aligned. That's since birth. So it's just it's not a big deal if you're not injured.
Yeah.
But it's loading at the site of the cartilage hole.
Yeah.
So he said, I got to break your bone and I got to realign it so that when I plug your cartilage, that graft does not fail. And he said, normally I do this in 2 surgeries. I said, do it in 1, please. And he said, are you sure? I said, yeah, do it in 1. He said, it's gonna be horrible for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Like you're not gonna be able to go to the bathroom by yourself.
Wow.
Are you sure? I said, I feel like I could go through anything.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I said, nah, I'm good. Let's do it in 1. So we waited 8 weeks to get a cadaver's cartilage, so he can use that to match my cartilage, so he can plug that. And so they called me. They said, we're ready. Cool. Let's do it. My only worry, by the way, was not playing, but how am I going to coach on crutches?
Yeah.
The protocol was 8 weeks on crutches, which ended up being 3 months because they never told me that it's going to be really difficult to get back to walking. I thought it was like, all right, 8 weeks is done. Throw the crutches, start walking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we went through surgery, and I'm telling you, the first 3 weeks, I had some dark days. I mean, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. I couldn't sleep. And they put a tube into my groin to shoot medication into my knee, and that medication got jammed, and I didn't know. I was in 14 out of 10 pain, and I'm like, this attachment they gave me, I had a whole ball attached to me. They said the ball's got to decrease. As it decreases, the medication's going in. 4 days, the ball did not decrease. The medication was still in the ball.
Whoa.
So I called USC and I said, I'm in a lot of pain and this ball's not decreasing. They said, oh, it's probably jammed. You can take it out of your groin. So I'm like, huh? They said, just pull the plug.
Just pull it out your...
So I pulled it. It was the longest thing that they got in there. Just pulled it out. So I had lost one of my attachments. I had another attachment in my knee, just cleaning out the wounds. So when I had to go to the bathroom, I had to get up somehow, have 2 attachments around my neck, and try to get to the bathroom. The most painful experience of my life. And so again, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I felt like I was hit by 6 trucks. Not 1 truck. I was hit and then hit again and hit again and hit again.
What a hell of an experience.
Yeah, it was awful.
But now you walked in here.
Yeah, I walked in here
with a limp, so you're not
slight limp.
You're not 100% back.
No,
are you hooping?
Not at all. Yeah.
Not at all? Okay.
No, it's been 5 months now.
Okay.
In about a couple of weeks, I'm gonna start jogging again.
Okay.
But the limp, I think and I know that it's mental, because at times when somebody goes, "You're limping," I'm like, "No, I'm not." I said, "Walk," and then I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, all right, I'll show you," and I'm able to walk normally.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can't do yet is go downstairs. It's really difficult to go downstairs.
I've had 3 knee surgeries. So,
oh, you have?
Yep. And
what did you have?
I actually popped my kneecap out of socket hooping. That was the worst pain ever. Meniscus tear, and then a cleanup after that because stuff was just still floating around.
Right.
I'm a candidate for a knee replacement now.
Oh, you are? Wow.
They told me, my doctor told me that if I keep, because I was playing in the Loot as well too.
Right.
I was playing in the Bronze Division, Old Man League. They told me if I keep playing and I keep training, that I'll be candidate for a knee replacement in the next.
So all your cartilage is gone at this point.
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
So you feel pain when you're walking.
Not so much. I still have a little cartilage in there, but it's bone on bone.
Yeah, that's not fun.
It's not. But so I stopped playing. Of course, I still train. So I need that's my breadwinner. So I keep training, whatever. But at some point, I'm gonna have to have a knee replacement. But everybody I know that has knee replacements are in their 70s, and they said once you have that happen, you'll never be the same ever again. You'll always be hurt.
And with today's medicine and the appropriate rehab, what I learned was your doctors assume that everyone's a 90-year-old patient.
Exactly.
They told me you're gonna play in 9 months for my knee injury, and I'm thinking, nah, that's just the average guy that doesn't rehab, that doesn't work, who's striving to just walk. Yes, they'll play in 9 months, but I'm gonna beat that. See, it became a competition.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna beat your timetable. And I'm going to let you know that I beat your timetable.
I'm going to show you that.
I'm going to show you that I beat your timetable.
Yeah.
So that became a competition too. So
Well, I hope you're a speedy recovery. I look forward to seeing you
it.
getting buckets in the loot again. So before we get out here, let people know where we can find you, your club team, social media, your own social media. Let everybody know where we can find you at.
So social media, personal at CNK10. And then my club team, it's at Rebels Elite Basketball. We'll go with those two right now.
Do you take non-Armenians on your Rebels team?
I do.
Okay.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm open to everybody. Anybody that's willing to work, that wants to advance. I'm here to help. That's our job.
Yeah,
that's
our
coaches.
job.
That's our job.
Exactly.
So
Coach Nareg Kopooshian. He said I said his name right.
Yes,
I did some studying. I wrote it phonetically.
Yeah.
AKA Chris.
He did his homework.
I did my homework. Man, I appreciate you coming to this.
I appreciate you having me. This was awesome.
This is fun, man. Like I said, we've always been kind of talking via social media or whatever. So it's dope to sit down and hear your story, man. Yep. So I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody out there, man. This is Hoops and Hip Hop with Coach Carter. I enjoy you guys. Thank you for listening. Peace.